Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be breaking down the big and mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to go above and beyond and get some fantastic daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now, let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back once again, guys. Now, I don't want to get too much into politics, but what I have to say, I have to say it because it's hurting our pockets, right? Especially American people. We're paying at the pump, and now the inflation will go up because of rising, oil prices, right? It's a massive move in the price of oil. Last week was the biggest one recorded. It was up 35%. Now you can see here on CNBC, Iran continues to hit Gulf countries, which is true, as Israel strikes intensify. Strike with what? Our taxpayers' money, right? They don't have anything. This is not even a country without America. And Israel dragged America into this war, and now we all are paying for it. We destroyed their, nuclear a couple of months ago. Okay, fine. That was good, right? Now, why are we actually attacking Iran? Because of this country. And now, how many countries are suffering? A lot of countries, even in South Asia, all over the place. And gas prices are on the rise. Guess what? Inflation is already on the rise as well. Everything, food, everything is going to cost more. And who's costing all this? This country right here is just a total disaster. Now, Western media, and even if you make a video, especially inside Israel, and if it's against Israel or anything that is saying like they've been attacked and they're getting bombarded, really heavily, and you post a video, your account will get banned and you might go to jail. Now, some videos will pop up on your Facebook sometime. There's a lot of destruction happening in Israel. It's like the second Gaza right now. So, what goes around comes around. You guys heard that before. What they did to Gaza, now it's happening in Israel. And without, if US, just backing up right now, this country is going to turn into dust. Nothing will be left of Israel right now. And not to mention, we got Russia and China helping Iran, and they're gonna be helping even more because what we did with Ukraine, we helped Ukraine, and now they're doing the same thing. So it's not about whose side you're on. It's not about side. It's about the right thing. And right thing for the American people would be not going into another long war and waste all that taxpayers' money. And I pay a lot of tax, so that actually hurts me, and that's why I'm talking about it. And if you pay a lot of taxes, obviously it's going to hurt your pocket. When you go at the pump, it's going to hurt your pocket, and when you go at the groceries, it's going to hurt, guys. It's not who's supporting Iran, who's supporting Israel. It's about our pocket. It's about our money. That's all matters. I'm not picking sides here. I'm not picking anybody's sides, but it's going to hurt the American people the most because of this war. What happened back in 2008, and before that, when we went into Iraq, what happened? We went through a massive crisis, right? And this is the same thing. We built a lot of things in Middle East, a lot of bases, and now they're getting blown. Who's paying for it? Not Trump. Who's paying for it? Not Netanyahu, right? We paid for these things. And these soldiers that are out there, I feel really sorry for them because they didn't have to do this, but they have no choice. And now they're dying, getting injured for no reason, absolutely no reason. So if this is going to continue, you're going to see a rise in the price of oil. And guess what? That's not good for especially midterm election and especially for Trump. So I think something is gotta give. This has to stop, and something is gotta give. Whether Trump will come out and say, well, we won the war, we destroyed Iran, and they don't have anything left, and just gonna back off. That's the only thing I see because Iran, even on national television, NBC, Tom Yamas, and what did he say? He said, "We're waiting for you, boots on the ground. Come, we're waiting for you." That man is just not bluffing. They have capabilities to actually harm U.S. soldiers. And when you see these types of things happening in front of your eyes, just in recent times, why? There is no reason. Did we find anything when we invaded Iraq? Nothing. So same thing here. If you're gonna go and start a fight without a reason, nobody's gonna be on your side. And this is exactly what Netanyahu is doing, and we are backing him up. And we're, I guess, taking all the cost of this war. And who's paying? Like I said, Trump's not paying for it. Nobody's paying for it. It's our money. Our pocket is hurting. You know, your children, your future, everything is hurting because of this. Because you're gonna pay more at the pump. Not to mention the tariff got thrown out. Now we got this, and maybe this is because of what's in the Epstein file, right? So it's a really big mess. And like I said, guys, I'm not trying to be political here. I'm not picking anybody's, side here, but it just hurts when you pay a lot of taxes and you see your money is getting thrown out, just getting burned here in the Middle East, and we got nothing there. We shouldn't be even going there and doing these kind of things. Now, what market did Friday? It was down again. Dow was down nearly 1%, Nasdaq down 1.59, S&P down 1.33. Russell down the most. Forget about the rate cuts. Now the inflation coming back up, and the horrendous labor report we got on Friday, guys. It was really bad. Non-farm payroll came in, I think, what, negative 92,000, which was really bad. Advancing 27.7, declining 68.1. 11 sectors, all were in red except energy. And you can see the stock market map, everything got hit on Friday. You can see only PLTR, few names, software names, but look at Nvidia down 3. AMU, I mean, these memory stocks are taking a massive hit. Amazon took a hit. Tesla, everything. Some of the names, industrials like Boeing, LMT, well, these are, you know, stocks that should be going up, and they were up. Some consumer defensive like Walmart and Costco. We have inflation data coming out Wednesday morning, so keep an eye on that. If this thing rises with higher number on unemployment, that's going to be really bad. Bear bull sentiment 33% bullish, 35.5% are bearish in the market. Fear and greed index, you can see we're back into almost extreme fear. So we'll see how that goes going into next week. So let's get started with Microsoft, which is doing really well past couple days. On Microsoft is down 0.42%, so not a big down day. But if you look at my screen, look at where we came up to 413, guys. Now you can see this is sort of like an inverse head and shoulder. That is, you have the head, left shoulder, and the right shoulder formed right here. We did not fill the gap. And now, if this is going to take place, we might be going into definitely that 423, even higher than that. But this week, especially what's going on right now, the market is down a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, the key support here will be 406 underneath that 20-day at 400, and then all the way down here, not 400, 401 to be exact, because that's where the 20-day is sitting. And below that, that 395, we have a gap down here, which I don't think we're going to come down here anytime soon. So Microsoft, if you bought, and if you're long on it, I think there is plenty of upside. And, I'm long on Microsoft. I bought plenty of positions, and those are green right now, and will be even more, especially if this thing rises even higher. So watch out. We might come up here and retest upper Bollinger Band at 416, possibly go into this high where we saw this initial rally took place, which is around 423 on Microsoft. On Apple, stock is down 1%. So Apple was not looking good. We broke this trend line right here. So I'm going to take it off as we broke it. And now you can see we're getting into the lower band here, 253. We hit 254 on Friday and bounced off of that. But if this thing comes down a little bit more, come tomorrow or later this week, we could be filling this gap at 249. And this support does not hold. We could be going even lower, possibly into that 242 mark. To the upside, um, Apple here will have resistance at 259. If we can cross over that, watch out for the 5-day moving average just above that, which is going to be at 261.75, and then 265 will be the big resistance where we got rejection here. On Tesla stock is down 2.17%, so Tesla back down again, and we're just consolidating here. And let's see if this thing comes down even more, possibly down here, bottom of this channel, which is going to be 385. That gives up. We could be coming down to 375 into this gap, 369. To the upside, if it breaks over 410, that would look more bullish, for more upside into this 50-day moving average, into the upper range, which is at 432 on Tesla. On AMD, it's down 3.52%. So AMD had that nice initial bounce last week at the beginning of the week and then faded just before closing. And you can see barely holding on to lower band, which is at 189.77. If this band expands to the downside, you could see more downside. And I've been saying it that I think it's going to fill this gap at 170. So we're not too far away. If this thing comes down, takes out this bottom of the range, 188, 189, we could be coming down to 182 and into the gap very quickly at 170. To the upside, there will be resistance at 196.7 over that 200 into 202.69, and then we have a gap on top. As a matter of fact, we got two gaps. There's another one at 237, but we're just not there yet, so I'm not even gonna mention this gap right now. Let's see if we can come back up over 200 this week. On Meta, it's down 2.38%. So Meta also looks like it wants to break down. If this trend line breaks, I mean, it's going to be a disaster for Meta. So right now, it's just hanging in there. You can see 638 support holding. That gives up the next one, 630, into the trend line around 626, gap at 618. And these are going to be the support level to the downside to watch. To the upside, a gap fill reversal can happen also as a resistance here, 650. If we can cross that, 656 and then 664 here on Meta. On Amazon, stock is down 2.62%. So Amazon, I played calls, and you guys go back and watch those videos where Amazon was oversold here. I talked about it, had a really big position, and took profit on this play. And guess what? As of 220 on Amazon, we're short on Amazon. I took profit on Friday, and we'll be possibly taking even more profit come tomorrow morning if this thing drops and comes down and closes the gap at 209. And that could be also an opportunity to possibly buy it back up to the upside. But you can see the Bollinger Band are just squeezing the stock in between. So something big is coming on Amazon. We'll see how big is that, because there is no earnings, nothing. It's just going to be a big move. I don't know if this thing can actually come down and close some of these gaps. I would like to see it to the downside. If this thing comes down to 195, maybe lower, that would be fantastic. So, I'm leaning towards that downside if this bear flag plays out. If we take out, let's say, 205, this thing can come down easily. To the upside, if we can get over 215, which was holding the entire week until Friday, we can possibly push towards that 220, 223 into that gap on top, 232. On Google, stock is down 0.87%. So Google is down again. And you can see time and time just hanging in there, just around that 300 mark. But, the key support zone at 292 looks like we could be going there early as tomorrow. That does not hold. We could be coming all the way down to 276. To the upside, there will be rejection, and we had a rejection on Friday at 300. If that breaks, there will be resistance right here at 302 over that 309 and then 314. On Nvidia, stock is down 3%, and into closing, we actually broke a critical level, which is right here. You can see 181.35. Then we also broke 178. And I mean, this thing does not have too much room to the downside, especially when it comes to the Bollinger Band. You can see it's at 176, and we're pretty much trading close to that Bollinger Band. So even if there is some sort of a gap down tomorrow, we could see 170. If it goes lower, then watch out for possibly right here around 164, 165, maybe into the gap 160, which is going to be massive. And if that happens, definitely I will be buying that dip. To the upside, If this thing breaks out over 181.35, we could be going back up to 184. And over that, we could see more upside into 186 to 190. So Netflix also flat on the day, and this thing is not stopping for anybody. We already got up to that 100 mark almost, and if it breaks over that, guys, like I said, we have a date with daily 200 SMA, which is gonna be that 110 here on Netflix. If we get some sort of a pullback, which we had on Friday, you can see 97.3 held as a support. If that gives up, we can come down to 94. And I don't know about this gap right now because it's looking really strong at this moment, and it can just push even higher. So Broadcom is down 0.69%. Now, what's happening here on Broadcom, you can see we had that initial break. I mean, as of right now, it's holding, over that 330 mark. And if this thing breaks below that, we still have the gap down here, and it wasn't really a strong close. You can see we came back up, going over 340, but then into the closing, this thing just faded, gave away all the gains, and pretty much down nearly 1% for the day. So that 330 would be key line in the sand for tomorrow, and then the daily 200 SMA at 320. Underneath that, you'll see 307 and possibly going even lower. To the upside, if this breakout actually holds up at 330, we could see possibly a push even higher. Coming up to these areas where we had massive rejection before 356, that could be a possibility. But the earnings, when you look at it, yes, they have a beat, but by a small margin. And when you see a big company like Broadcom, and these companies, they were beating the earnings before with big numbers. Why they cannot do it anymore? Because they've been doing these big numbers for many months, many years now, and you cannot just come up with bigger and bigger numbers every time. And that's when the selling happens, and this is exactly what's happening on Broadcom. And things could have been even worse. I think it's holding up really well even with that earnings. And if it holds up over 330, expect more upside. If it breaks below this trend line, this is going to be a fake out, and you're going to see this thing coming down and crushing again. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.